Hello everyone, welcome again. This is the fourth video in our series where we're building a Laravel application to monitor websites when they go down. In the previous video, we created a new page to view the details of a website in our application. And we also added downtime events. So we're able to see a history of how many times in the past a website has gone down. Now, all throughout the videos we've seen so far, we haven't made much emphasis on the aesthetics of our website, of our application. And I want to change that today. And for this, I want to use Tailwind. We've been using Tailwind, a very basic version of it, with a few basic CSS classes as well. But to continue with our rapid prototyping idea, we're going to be using Tailwind UI. Tailwind UI is a library of components created by the creators of Tailwind CSS. They're beautifully looking and they really speed up the process of designing and putting together an interface for an application, a website, or many other things. I highly recommend you check it out. I already have an account with them and we have a paid license too. So I'm able to go to Tailwind UI just to show you quickly how it works. You click here, components, and then you have a bunch of components that you can grab and copy and paste for your applications. We need to do a quick installation here. It uses npm, so let's do that in our project. npm install Tailwind CSS. It added the package, and let's see, we need to do a couple more things here because we're no longer going to be using it from the CDN. We have to configure a couple things here. Make sure that this okay. Looks like it's working. Well, not working, but configured properly. Let's see. npm run dev. And to test this, let's go back to Tailwind UI. And the first thing is this, like we don't even have an app bar, right, to navigate throughout the application. So let's do that. Let's do, well, this would be for our landing page. What do you have here? Maybe a nav bar. Yeah, you have nav bars. Let's use one of the simple ones. See, so you can preview and then it gives you the code option where you can just copy and paste it on your project. Let's go to our layout and interesting how this is gonna work inside our body. Let's paste our nav. Yeah, we're missing one thing here, which is, if I'm not mistaken, is including the Vite. Yeah, there we go. So with Vite, which is compiling the Tailwind package that we installed, by adding this directive, it's going to include at the bottom of our template the file that it's generating with all the Tailwind classes that we're using, etc. See, it's already looking much better. There's a few things that require JavaScript that I'm not gonna bother with right now. So let's just hide that thing that says your profile. Not even hide it, let's remove it for now. Okay. It's just for the looks, you know. We're not really making these things functional right now. We can even extract this to its own file. I'm thinking if we want to do that. No, let's keep it here. Okay, so that's a nav bar. Let's change the... So yes, I want to have a dashboard. That's part of the reasons why I'm doing this. The dashboard would be app. Then we want to have websites here, and the others can go away. Websites, and this would be dashboard. Perfect. We have the two. App, it doesn't exist yet. And the slash route, that's going to be our landing page, which in a future video we're also going to create. So let's go to our routes and fix these things here real quick. So this would become landing to return a landing page. App just becomes, you know what, let's call it dashboard. It returns a dashboard. Okay. And then here what I said was app is now the dashboard. There's no view for dashboard, so we have to create that. Resources, views. The home became landing. Now we have our dashboard view. In landing, this is not going to use the same layout because we're going to build a different one for the landing page. All right, so this is the landing page, and now this is dashboard and this is websites. Great. Oh, we need to work these classes out. Yeah, see, so Tailwind UI, it gives you these handy things. So if it's a current URL, you have to use these classes, and if it's not, it uses these ones. Let's see if cursor can do that. So refactor the classes to current. Yep, it did it. So now it knows and recognizes if we're on the website's route, then it's going to apply the appropriate classes. If we're on the dashboard route, it's going to apply the appropriate classes too. Cool. We also need some spacing here, probably the same spacing for the body. So let's maybe do this. Yeah, so we're using the same spacing. Let's add some padding as well. Let's add it to the navbar. No. Yeah, like padding 6. Okay. Now that padding is maintained along the pages. All right. Of course, we still need to work with other Tailwind UI things, like we can make more beautiful tables. You say here table, then it's gonna show it like this. I'm not sure if I want to do that right now because I want to tackle something else. Yeah, let's tackle authentication. That's a big thing that we need to add here so this application is actually usable by multiple users, not just the default one that I'm using right now. And for that, we need to take a look at Laravel Authentication. So Laravel Authentication, they offer some starter kits. You have two options to use the starter kit. You can use Laravel Breeze, which they recommend you start with, but I'm gonna have a contrarian opinion here, and I want to build my own views. But of course, we're gonna use and leverage everything Laravel already scaffolds for users and authentication. Okay, so database considerations, this is already done, by the way. Laravel 11 uses SQLite by default as a database engine. And since we've been running migrations, we have a database running on this project. The file, by the way, it's on the database folder. It's this database SQLite. And Cursor has an option to view, to explore the database SQLite here locally. So you can open database, it recognizes the file, and once you open it, it adds this part to the interface here at the bottom, where it shows you all the tables that you currently have. So for example, we have the websites table. We have those two entries that we've been seeing. Also downtime events, we have 3 downtime events. And yeah, you can explore an SQLite database directly here from Cursor. So what I wanted to show you is there already is a users database that comes with Laravel 11 installation by default, and it has a bunch of other features like the password reset tokens to do the forgot password. They have sessions. They have everything you need basically to create authentication. So let's go ahead and use this instead of creating our own stuff. The first thing we need to do is let's go to our routes. Let's create some authentication views here. Authentication views, right? So you have login and register. Let's start with register. Okay, we need to create a folder called auth under views, and it's called register. Okay, and here we're going to, we don't want to use the same layout. Okay, let's view here. Again, Tailwind UI, they also have views for register. So we can copy this code, paste it in our view, and yeah, it's just returning the view. So we can go here to register. Yeah, we need to add our vid command. So you know what? Let's create a layout for authentication. Yeah. And let's do basically the same we have here, minus the navbar. Just the content. register, and we need to, oh, no, not here. We need that in the layout, and register is just the contents here. Sorry, we need to extend first the layout, and in the content section, we paste the form from Tailwind. UI, it's not working. Layouts auth. Let's see. The authentication layout has fit there. Oh, this example requires you updating your template. Let's update the template. Register. Still not liking it. How come the other view does work? It has the same. Yeah. Oh, I'm not closing the body. No, I am. We're debugging live here. Let's stop and start this. Yeah, it needed some restart. Okay, we can go back to register and change this. Create an account. This here so we can see it while we edit stuff. Let's comment out the forgot password for now. Email, password, sign in needs to be submit, and let's call here ready. You already have an account, then log in. Cool. Okay, now we need to process this. Let's see, what's the, it's name email and name password. Probably need a password confirmation here. So let's do confirm password, and this is called password confirmation. And instead of submit, let's call this create account. Okay, and this is a form? No, we have to make it a form. It posts to the same route. Didn't like that, so let's maybe put the form inside. Still doesn't like it very much. We're gonna keep it like this for now. Well, let's ask indent this file. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, and also cursor knows how to indent your files. Perfect. All right, create account. Let's add some margin here. Now we need to create a route to receive that post. Yep, to a function called register. We need to do the same here for login. You know what? Now that we're going to use an auth controller, let's use functions from the controller here. Register form. This would be login form. Let's include that auth controller. And now we need to create it. Create our auth controller. Let's open it and create our functions first. Register form, then login form. All right, let's see how that looks. This error is because we are missing the CSRF. Okay, this shows because we are outputting the entire request. So here we need to validate the request, asking for an email that's required. And again, this is just the beauty of Laravel. Here it's going to validate that that email that's being sent in the request is unique in the users table. And the password, it needs to be, I think there's a rule, yeah, confirmed. And this automatically checks the same field that has underscore confirmation. They need to match. If they don't match, it's going to return an error. Let's include user, and it's going to create a user with those validated fields. Let's check if the user has those fillable: name, email, and password. Name, we don't really care right now, but email and password are fillable, so we're good. And then we're gonna redirect to, we should authenticate the user. Let's return the user here. Let's use the auth facade. Let's log in as that user and then redirect to the dashboard. Okay. And then in the dashboard, we need to show here something. Yeah, just to make sure we are authenticated when we land here. If auth check, else, please log in. All right, so we come back here and we say, this is my email. Let's create my account. Integrity constraint violation. Oh, the name is required. So since I want to make this as less friction as possible, I want to remove this constraint that a username is required, because I just want the users to, submit their email. I don't want to overcomplicate things. So for this, let's create a migration. Make migration where update users table, or you know what? Yeah, update users table. In the up, we're going to say, okay, let's leave cursor to do this, see how it goes. Make the name column not required. And it does the opposite here. So you just need to say that this is nullable and add the change function, because without this, it thinks you are adding a column and the column already exists. If you do a change, it knows it needs to do an alter statement on the table. Let's run the migration. It run the migration, so now the name is not required, it is nullable. Huh. It didn't create it, and it also, yeah, we're not showing the errors. If there was a validation error, we are not seeing it. So where is my register? Right above here, say if there are any errors, show them. Okay, let's do that one more time. Okay, that means it created a user, it just couldn't find the dashboard route. Yeah, didn't give it a name. Yeah, it did. It refreshed and it tried to submit that again. Let's see if it created the user. Yeah, it created it. Perfect. Now let's do login real quick so we can log in as well. Now let's do a full test here. Register. Let's create another account, KG2. So this is as a new user that's creating an account, and after you submit this, if there are no errors, I expect to be redirected to dashboard. Cool. Now in here, I don't want to mess with this dropdown yet. So let's add a logout link to the dashboard. So if it's logged in, yeah, it was recommending me the logout. Perfect. Now we need the logout route here. And in the auth controller, we create our logout function. Oh, it's sending me back to login and it doesn't exist. Okay, let's create it now. Clean up the tabs again. I go crazy when I have too many tabs open. And let's copy the contents of register and use it for login. To make a few changes here. log in, email address. We don't need a confirmation here. Yeah, we haven't done anything yet to the controller. So to log in, we need to first validate. Password is required. And we need to attempt to authenticate using these credentials. If it's authenticated, redirect to dashboard. I'm not following this. No, we don't need to return back. Yeah, exactly. If the authentication attempt succeeds, then redirect to dashboard. Otherwise, go back with errors. Let's make something here wrong. These errors here, let's show them in a more alert danger. Yeah, these are not Tailwind classes. Text red, background red, that's better. No. Yeah, that should show that stuff better formatted. But anyways, don't remember what password I use for JG, but this one is just a bunch of 1, 2, 3s. Oh, it's trying to register. You have to go to login post, that's why. So wrong password, invalid credentials. The correct password, it lets me in. Perfect. So log out, we have login. I don't remember the password I use here. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, so we have very basic authentication. We have integrated Tailwind CSS today using Tailwind UI. Of course, there's room for improvement here. Last thing we need to do is, because even if I'm logged out, if I go to websites, I can see everything, right? So we need to do a couple more things. The first one is in our router, the only view that you should be able to see if you are not authenticated, well, there's quite a few. It's the landing page, register, and login, but nothing else. So the rest we're gonna wrap in this middleware group, and we tell it there's a middleware called auth in Laravel that requires an authenticated user existing in the session before it can serve that request. So we make use of this function to say that we're creating a group that requires that authentication middleware to be applied to the request. And if it gets applied, then, or if the application of that middleware is successful, then you can serve these routes. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. It's gonna return a 404, I think. So yeah, you see that it worked. Right now I don't have a session, so if I try to go to websites, it's not gonna let me. Or dashboard even, it's not gonna let me. I need to be logged in. Okay, so that's one thing. And the other is Now, our websites are visible to everyone, to every user, rather, even if they're logged in. And we don't really want that. So we need to create a new migration to add user ID to the websites. Add user ID to websites table. So this is just a user ID. Every website has a user. Let's migrate this. And also remember to create a relationship. The website belongs to a user, and a user has many websites. Okay, so now the two websites that I created. Oh, last thing is, let's go here to the websites, and I can see them all, even though I'm not the owner yet. So I go to websites. If you see now, there's a user ID column here at the end. How do I edit? Can I even edit here? I'm not sure how I do it. Never mind. That's something for another video. So in the controller, website controller, when we list index, we're not showing all. Now we have to say where the user ID of the website is the owner, the current logged in user has to be the owner of the website. So right now I don't have any websites. The other thing is when we create the websites store, we're going to create a website with the name from the request, the URL, and the currently authenticated user. So that's how we're going to say, for example, Google. Interesting. It's not showing me the website. Oh, the user ID is null. Oh, because user ID, we haven't made that fillable in the website. There we go. We make it fillable. Now we create another one. Let's call it I'm throwing a blank here. Facebook. Okay. Now it's only showing me Facebook because that's the only website that has my user ID. So now we can have websites that belong to different users, and they're only gonna be shown to the one that's logged in. We still need to do some security things. For example, I know there's a website with an ID of 1 that exists, and I can view it even though I'm not the owner. So there's still a few things we need to adjust, like when you're editing, find or fail where the user ID is this. Same with when you are, well, these two, when you're editing, when you're destroying, and when you're showing. Yeah, so I don't have access to this, only to the fourth one. That's to the fifth one. Yeah, that's Facebook. So those little things. Okay, this video was way longer than I anticipated, but we made tons of progress. We integrated Tailwind CSS using Tailwind UI in our application. We added a navbar and some extra classes here on the body to make things look prettier. And we added authentication. Users can now register, users can log in, and we are scoping the websites that are available or that the user can manage only to the websites that they've created. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you got to this point, please leave comments with suggestions. I'm sure I made some mistakes on this video, and I would be happy to hear how to improve. Also, if you have ideas for future videos, other topics to cover here, remember the plan is to build this together, deploy it, launch it, and use it. It's going to be a live application that's actually usable, that you'll be able to interact with and monitor your own websites. So yeah, please interact. I promise I'll respond to the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.